Greetings and welcome back to the Jacksonville Buzz. I'm Adrienne Houghton, and joining me today in the studio is Aaron Streater from AM Repair, and he's going to demystify what credit scores and how credit works and credit repairs and everything about it. And also joining us is our trusted Buzz contributor, Mr. Stephen Strum. Good afternoon, ladies.
And good morning, gentlemen.
Boom. Aaron, tell us exactly what it is that demystifies credit repair and credit scores, because people are scared to death out there. If they haven't a good credit score, then benefits aren't available for them. So tell us.
So essentially, your credit score is your credibility. Determines where you can live, determines what you can qualify for. Even certain jobs, you have to have a certain credit score to even get a certain clearance, so you can, you're above reproach and bribes and things of that nature.
Sure. So how do you start? If somebody comes to you and says, "Look, I keep getting turned down for A, B, C, and D, and I don't understand it. I'm doing my utmost. I don't owe anyone anything." And this is, I'm sure you've heard a lot of times before. How do you go about trying to get people a good credit score?
Well, the first thing is you need to know what you're dealing with. So the first thing I tell people is to get your credit report. Now, a lot of people, they use a service by the name of Credit Karma. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people think that Credit Karma is your real score. It is not. Okay. It's actually it's a different scoring model. So when you talk about regular, credit scores, FICO, which, FICO is a generic term. There's different types of FICO. Like there's a FICO for if you want to go and get a house. There's FICOs if you want to get a car loan.
And what does FICO stand for?
Fair Isaac Credit Organization.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's essentially what that stands for. Now, what I tell people is actually getting your credit report. So your credit report is basically your permanent record. It tells you exactly what you're dealing with, whether what accounts you have on there, collections, different things like that. Mm-hmm. Now, credit repair is a two-step process. It's not only disputing and updating and getting negative items off your report, but it's also building your credit profile at the same time. Those things have to work in tandem.
Right.
So how did you get started in this? Like why are you motivated to help other people repair and demystify credit?
So it kind of comes years ago. I was trying to get trying to build my credit myself. I had a couple items on there, and I used a national company, very touted. And what I realized is what they actually do, and I realized I can do this. I also had family members that were CPAs, tax preparers, so they showed me little tricks of the trade. And years ago, I worked for a little mom and pop, so I got the information. And essentially, what I wanted to do was, I wanted to open up a company. I wasn't sure, but I wanted to help people make money at the same time. And what I saw was a need. And as I researched and as I, delved into it, I realized there was a need for this. A lot of people really didn't understand their credit. A lot of people, even to this day, they're trying to go and get go into a house, and the first thing they're going to do is they'll talk to the mortgage person. It's like, "Oh, well, my score on Credit Karma is this," and they almost kind of chuckle. It's like, "Yeah, that's not your real score."
Now, do you work with only individuals, or do you work with couples as well?
No, so I actually work with couples as well. I have several packages. So I have single pair clients, and then I have people that I work with the couples in tandem, because a lot of people don't realize is when you're going into, let's go say you're going to buy a house as a couple. Now, the greatest thing about that is you get to use both your incomes if you're both working.
Sure.
But if you want both you guys on the actual deed, essentially the weakest link is who they're going to go by. So let's go and say the husband is a 640, but the wife is a 600. They're going by the wife. So the biggest thing is getting you guys to a high enough point together. So God forbid, you guys are, both covered.
Sure. I mean, do you have a fixed price program, or does it vary?
No, so I have a very straightforward pricing. I have a monthly package for single payer clients. I have a monthly package for couples, and I also have a fast track program. And essentially what that does is that pays you up for the first 90 days. There's no delays. And also, when I'm working with a couple, I'm working with you guys, both together, taking care of you. And my biggest thing is education. So I'm not a company which the credit repair industry can be a bit high risk. You can pretty much charge any price. I've heard $500. I've heard $1,000 for quote unquote audits, which is basically a consultation.
Right.
So my biggest thing is I don't want repeat customers in my business. I want to fix your credit, get you where you need to be, and send you on your way. And then I want to give you enough information to, God forbid, you happen to backslide, then you're able to course correct yourself.
Can you guarantee that you will be able to get their credit scores up?
What I can guarantee, and I'm going to just be very honest, you can write up the best letter in the world, but it's not necessarily up to me. What I am essentially doing is using the laws, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the Fair Debt Practices Act, which essentially the Fair Credit Reporting Act is, what you're doing is launch an investigation with the credit bureaus, and if they cannot verify this information from the status to the date it was opened to the date it was closed, and all those different factors, it's not just the account itself, by law it has to be deleted. The same thing with a collection agency. So essentially I do not guarantee my work because no one can guarantee what they're doing.
Understood.
But what people need to understand, it's the same thing with, any type of consultant. If you've been doing a certain thing at a certain level for a certain time, you know what works, you know what doesn't.
And how can people get hold of you if they would like your services? Yeah.
So if they want to get hold of me, they can sign up on amcreditjacks.com. They can also give me a call at 904-586-0923. I'm also on Facebook. I have a business page, AM Credit Jacks.
Steve, I mean, you've got to be. I mean, this is you come into
my world.
Yeah.
Every day, all the time, and people just the amount of things they don't know about the way credit works. There's a lot of services out there, and thank you for trying to help people get an honest understanding of where they're at, but not just where they're at, but where they can go.
Exactly.
Thanks. Thank you, Aaron, for coming on and helping to demystify it.
Okay, no problem.
Really helps. And we'll be right back after these messages.